Hey, sports fans, it's Mo Carter. Every high school football team in the Tennessee Valley has a goal of hoisting up a blue map at this year's Super 7 in Birmingham. And in order to get there, you have to do work in the off-season. This summer, the Fox 54 sports team chatted with a number of squads about their upcoming season. And you can check out some of your favorite teams right now on another edition of the First Down Friday Night Preview Series.
Okay, the Sylvania Rams. Sorry, Coach. I'm glad that's what happens when you get old.
Amen.
You get old, and that happens. But it's good to have Coach Waldop and his guys here today. Coach Waldop back at Sylvania. It's good to see you in green and gold again. I see that little smile there. But, Coach, if you'd let them introduce themselves or you introduce them, then some opening comments from you. And, again, I apologize for my mistake.
I'll let them introduce themselves here in just a minute. As far as opening comments, obviously it's good to be back home. I graduated from Sylvania in '97. Had the opportunity to coach as a volunteer assistant there for 18 years before I moved on. Been a little bit elsewhere here and there. Spent some time at Geraldine and at Boaz for a while. Appreciate the opportunity. Looking forward to hopefully building a program that Sylvania can be proud of again. These two guys here, brought them with me. They've been so far super dedicated to what we're trying to do. Show up, and they've done a good job of trying to be leaders in their respective areas as far as skill guys and the bigs on the other end. But I'll let them introduce themselves, and then we'll go from there.
My name is Bryson Cook.
Eli Trotman.
All right, Coach, could you talk about how many players in the program now, maybe the breakdowns on your numbers, seniors, juniors, sophomores? Can you tell us that this morning?
We've got 26 right now on the roster. 7 seniors. I ain't 100% sure on the numbers. I don't have it with me, just to be honest with you. 7 juniors. We're about 7 across the board for each class, 9 through 12. Then they're sprinkled in here and there. You know, we got some 9th graders that are going to be playing. There's a few kids in every class that'll be contributing. All the kids will be contributing in some way or fashion. When you got 26, you got to figure out a way to get pretty much everybody on the field in some facet.
Coming out of summer workouts and headed into fall practice, and you may have already practiced this morning or will this afternoon, what would you say might be the strength of this year's Rams team?
Hard to say yet. You know, obviously I took the job in May, and I had never really got to see any of them actually compete in a live setting. But other than watching film and the guys we got back that have played in the past. But I feel like even though for the most part we're fairly young up front, I think hopefully we can lean on those guys a little bit. Obviously we're going to try to run the ball. But like I said, we got 3 skill guys that'll be seniors, that'll be contributing quite a bit. Seth Ledford, Sammy Anderson, and Travis Owens. Got a 10th grader that'll be right now prospectively starting at quarterback. In the front's a mix. Got a couple 10th graders, a junior and a senior, and got a 10th grader at tight end. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see how it goes from there. Summer workouts, not been bad. Kids have worked their tails off. You know, when I come in, I jokingly told somebody the other day that I felt like I was speaking French. Now some of these guys have heard some Spanish before, but the things I was saying, most of them had never heard much of what I was saying, calling things, different formations, and on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. So it's definitely been a learning experience for them as well as for me.
Well, Coach, I want to ask you this you come in, I know you're going to adjust your offense according to personnel, but what are some of the things we're going to see offensively and defensively out of the Rams now that you're the head man?
Offensively, we'll about 99% of the time we're going to have a tight end and a wing of some form. We will mix in a little bit of gun with that, but it'll be, a wing T gun look. A lot of motions, a lot of movements, a lot of counter, misdirection type stuff. Defensively, we'll probably base out of a four-man front for the most part. As far as the back end, it'll depend on what we're seeing. If it's a run-heavy offensive look, it'll be more like a split. So it'll be 4 down, 4 backers. If it's a spread look, it'll be more of a 4-3 look.
Well, this is for the players. Coach Waldop comes in. You know about him as an athlete at Sylvania naturally. I'm sure you've heard people talk. Outstanding football coach. What is your impression so far of Coach Waldop, and what are some of the things he's implemented that you like so far?
Well, I think Coach, he's a really good guy. He's really showed how he can just discipline us. I mean, he showed us how to be disciplined and work hard and be respectful. And I think he's going to bring this team together, and everything starting to fall apart or fall in pieces and whatnot. And I think he's going to lead us to a good season, and the Lord's going to lead us. And yeah.
I just want to piggyback off Bryson. When Coach Waldrop came in, saw many coaches and how they've coached us, but not many show love toward the players, and he implemented love toward the players. He also brought in a great deal of discipline too.
Coach, first of all, it's good to see you again. I want to ask you a two-part now. First of all, hearing what those young men just said about you, what does that mean to you to hear them talk that way about you after only just a few months with them?
Well, it means a whole lot because that's really what I'm about. I love the game of football, obviously, but I love what it teaches you more so than just the game of football. I'm a lot more concerned about how these young men are going to come out in life than I am how good they're going to be at the game. I want them to understand that, I want them to be absolutely as good as they can be, but at the end of the day, that's not the ultimate goal from my point of view. From my end of it, I'm trying to help young boys become young men. I want them to become productive citizens, and I want them to understand there's things in life that are way more important than the game of football.
And my second one, I know you inherited the schedule, but you get North Jackson off the jump, and this was a Donnybrook of a ball game last year, a low-scoring 14-6 final ball game there. And with what you were talking about earlier, implementing new things, some of the things I hadn't heard talked about before, some of the new schemes and whatnot that you're installing, what does that mean for you to get a quality opponent off the jump and then a bye week even so after that to kind of give you an idea of where you're at and where this team is going to go from there?
Honestly, I think the schedule for us, and not saying North Jackson's an easy opponent by no stretch of the imagination, but the way the schedule runs, I think it really helps us as far as the things we're trying to implement and change schematically. We get a jamboree, and then we get a week 0, and then we get a week off. So it gives us an opportunity to really look at ourselves and evaluate some things before region play starts, which is obviously, they're all important, but you don't want to, disregard any game on the schedule. They're all important. But obviously region games have more bearing on the outcome of the season. So being able to look and see against a non-region opponent with an off week and make some adjustments, I think that can go a long way toward our benefit.
Question first for the players and then for you, Coach Waldrop. Who are the young guys that may have not have got a lot of playing time in the last few years, and you as leaders of this football team, who have you seen some of the young guys that have stepped up this summer is going to have to take a bigger role in this football team? First the players and you, the coach, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen some good linemen that were younger. They're stepping up now. They're going to be juniors. Lucas Buttram's one to mention. Noah White. they've definitely stepped up. And, I mean, Coach, he's done a good job at coaching them as well. And there's a bunch of other young guys that's been putting in the work, and I think they're going to be pretty solid. So.
I've really spent time with the backs and stuff, and there's really one guy that sticks out, and you probably know his older brother, Colin Parham. Aiden's really helped him out, and Colin stepped up big time. He's ready to play.
Coach, would you like to comment on that?
So they named a couple of really good guys, young guys that have worked really hard this summer, and I feel like they've earned a little bit of respect. A couple guys that really jump off the page to me that I'm not sure how much playing time they got last year, but Mason Brooks and Holden Bloodsworth, those two kids, they're kind of like David was with the good Lord. It's like they're after my own heart. Everything they do, they're wide open. They're sold out. If it's fixing water coolers or running sprints, it don't make no difference. They're giving it everything they've got. And those two cats really work hard.
Well, Coach, coming into this season, this team, lost a lot of players from last year. But you coming in, the one thing, and you've talked about terminology and communication, all those kind of things that you've got to, get going on the right side. But one thing about this group, they know how to win. So you don't have to teach them how to win. They already knew that. Does that put you ahead of the curve a little bit?
Well, we always say winning's contagious. It's just like losing. So you get in the habit of winning, you think you're supposed to win. That's about 95% of the battle. So that's always a help. They understand what it takes to win, or they have won, and like I said, when you think you're going to win, that goes a long ways in the outcome of a contest.
Guys, question for you guys that I've asked all the other players that have come in. Maybe individual goals that you have for yourself and team goals for this football team this year.
Team goals, I want the team to be – I want more chemistry in the team, everybody to get along better, and I think we're doing a good job at that. And I know team chemistry goes a long way with getting better each week, and I think that's going to be a big part of us. And a personal goal for me is to be a better leader and show these younger guys how to do it,
My personal goal is just to do my job on and off the field as a teammate and a player, and team goal just to win at everything we do.
Coach, I'll ask you that question, and when I say expectations and goals, I'm not really talking about wins and losses, but in first year, what are your goals for this year's Sylvania team?
I don't know. My list is really long, so I'll try to shorten it up. Kind of like what these young guys are saying here. The biggest thing for me is for the team to be a team. If I had a number one goal, that would be it. I want every individual on the team to not see themselves as a single entity. I want everybody on the team to see themselves as a part of the team and be a part of something bigger than themselves. Obviously, everybody wants to win every game you play. Very seldom is that realistic. But nonetheless, it's still the goal. You play the game to win. If you want to play to win, then there ain't no need in playing. But sometimes that don't happen. So I hope that when a loss comes, if a loss comes, that we're able to learn from that and grow in that as well. I have learned over the past, you learn a lot more from the losses than you do the wins, if you can approach that in the right way. I hope we don't lose one. I hope we don't have to learn anything new. But, again, odds are not in our favor. But I'll still take them.
A brand new season of Fox 54's First Down Friday Night begins on Friday, August the 22nd on Fox 54 and the Fox 54 Plus app.